Hi, love. I would like to talk with you about being sensual. Now, I bet what first popped into your mind was being sexual, because those two words have become synonymous, but they actually have very different meanings. Sensuality does have to do with intimacy, but an intimacy that involves being fully present in what you're experiencing in this moment with all of your senses. It only became sexualized when the concept of sensuality was redefined to mean being tempted by animalistic urges by the devil. Anyway, the new word for it is mindfulness, whichever way you want to call it. But what I'm wondering, love, is when was the last time you had an intimate, sensual moment? Let me ask you another question. Does your head feel busy a lot? Are you often thinking about the past or the future? Or wandering around in a dreamscape that has no tether to this time reality? Here is my theory behind that. When a person experiences overwhelm or trauma repeatedly or to an extreme, their minds step into a protective mechanism called dissociation. It creates distance from present reality because something about that present reality is so overwhelming, it's traumatic or harmful to remain aware and conscious. But much like protective mechanisms we have, it doesn't turn back off, and it can build an intensity as well. Now, dissociation has been called numbing out, which is a fair term for it, but in my experience, it's anything but what I think of when I think of numb, which is more of a nothingness. I more feel like I'm in a room of 70 people all talking at once, and reality is one person trying to get my attention and tell me something. It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to focus through that. And it's the same whether I'm trying to focus on schoolwork, sleeping, remembering directions. It was such an aha moment for me when I linked this to why my brain refuses to remember the places that I drive to frequently. It's difficult to remember for 10 minutes to listen for that one voice out of 70 saying, "Turn left here." Now, dissociating is a beautiful protection that our brains have given us, and it's even incorporated into a technique in EFT, but it's meant to be a short-term solution. And as with any short-term solution that is chronically used, it has side effects. If your brain is stuck in a trauma loop, love, and it dissociates, it will want to sustain both of those. This means it will need to maintain those levels of those stress chemicals in your body that were produced at the height of your stress, which it does by re-traumatizing you internally. It maintains this by utilizing the habits of dissociation, so daydreams, projecting into the future or recalling the past, and the result is you get chronic worry, horrible thoughts, bad memories popping up out of nowhere, vivid daydreams that go weird and negative, and even a biting inner dialogue can be the outcome of your body desperately trying to keep you safe in a very, very misguided way. Now, I believe people who feel they perform best when they're multitasking, who have classic ADHD symptoms but medicines don't really help, or you just feel that there's a space between what you want to feel or how you want to be and where you currently are and you don't know how to close that gap, I think all of those are connected to dissociation. That's what I think. I also think everyone is operating under at least a gentle shade of dissociation, if not a full-on eclipse. Okay? So, now, back to sensuality. What can sensuality do? It can interrupt this cycle, the trauma loop, and it gives your brain new input to focus on, which it then has to analyze and reconsider its position. While the brain loves a habit, it also hates a waste. So if it determines that it's playing an outdated soundtrack, it will upgrade it. So how does one experience sensuality? By finding a way to engage all of your senses. This may take some effort on your part. One way that I adore, love, is dancing. Partner dancing. You have the sound of the music, the touch of another person, your own movement, probably tasting a breath mint or a drink of some sort, all of the visual input, the smell of perfumes, maybe soap or hairspray, sweat, maybe some BO, but hey, it's input, right? And if you don't stay present while you're dancing, the dancing sucks because you have to listen on many levels in order to flow with your partner. It's a very direct way to engage yourself to the present. If dancing isn't for you or feels too overwhelming as a starting point, try a cup of coffee or tea. Now take your time to order or prepare exactly what it is you want, whether that's plain with nothing in it or it's 5 shots of caramel with extra whipped cream and chocolate sprinkles. You want it to feel luxurious. When you get it, just hold it and feel the heat of it in your hands. Take slow breaths as you let the heat of that penetrate through the skin in your palms. Then lean over and let that steam roll across your face and inhale the scent of it deeply several times. Look down into it. Notice the color of it. Maybe swirl around that cream a little bit. Be amazed at all that had to occur in order for you to have this warm drink right now, from the farmers to the plants to the barista who handed it to you. Allow yourself to feel connected to this cup of yum and feel grateful for it. Allow it to give you pleasure and let yourself smile and relax because of it. Feel the anticipation of tasting it in your body and feel excited about that. Then take a sip, a very small sip, and feel the warmth of it on your tongue. Notice the taste just burst through your recognition. Feel it slide down your throat and warm your belly. Notice how you want more, but take another opportunity to pause. Inhale the scent, feel the steam, enjoy that anticipation and maybe even impatience or slight irritation at making yourself wait before you taste it again. Try setting it down after a few sips. Let the cup go and do something else for 30 seconds or so. Look out the window, check your email, send a text, then pick your cup up again and start all over by feeling the warmth. With this cup, you have then created a very sensually rich, intimate experience that is safe, and it's highly redefining for your body and brain. And notice how you feel afterwards. I'm guessing, love, that you will feel more centered and renewed and more joyful. Now, I want to give you some energy tools too. These will assist you in pulling this energy deeper into your body. When we dissociate, the energy flow that goes deep into our centers gets cut off, and that's when we begin to really wilt, regardless of what other healthy choices we're making, because the energy of those can only get so deep. Now, these exercises will allow it to get deeply in again. They're from Donna Eden. The energy system is called Radiant Circuits, and the circuit's name is Penetrating Flow because of how it penetrates down deep into the body. Okay, love, the way my studio is set up, I don't have enough space for you to be able to see my head and the parts of my body I need to instruct you how to do these exercises. So I'm gonna stand up. You won't see my head anymore, but you'll be able to still hear me. So here we go. So for the exercises for penetrating flow, the first thing is we're going to find a certain spot on our back that's called the Mingmen point, okay? So you find your belly button, and then you're gonna draw a horizontal line to the back to where your spine is, okay? Now on just either side of your spine, so you don't wanna push on the bone, you're gonna go just right to either side, and then you're gonna stick your thumbs, or you can use your knuckles if you want, and you're just gonna give it what I call a good buzz, okay? You're just gonna kind of bounce your fingers or your knuckles in on that point. That point is really energetically stimulating to penetrating flow, okay? So do this for 10 to 30 seconds, whatever you can do and not hurt your thumbs, okay? The second thing you're gonna do is go in between your belly button and your pubic bone and lay your hand there. This is the space of the second chakra, okay? We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna hold the tailbone, which is that bony end of your spinal column, okay? So just down here, and hold your tailbone and your second chakra, and just breathe. And this you're gonna hold for several minutes. Now, if you wanna do this when you're laying down, you can lay your hand flat, okay? Just slide it underneath you while you're laying in bed and do this, okay? And then the last one is you're gonna continue to hold this second chakra space, and then we're gonna hold our heart chakras, which is just right over our heart. And this we're gonna hold for a few minutes as well. So you do those 3 things, love, before and maybe even after you have your sensual experience, and that's gonna help draw that joy and that energy